Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel and to another one of our SmartFed videos. Today, we're going to discuss this brochure I came across, and it's called The Top 10 Mistakes Made by Federal Employees. And as somebody who's worked with federal employees for over 20 years now, almost exclusively, we're going to go through each one of these, and I'll give you my input on whether or not it's a top 10 mistake or is it somewhere down the list. Okay, so here we go. And just a quick reminder, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's talk about the top 10 mistakes made by federal employees. Mistake number 10, never attending a federal employee benefits and retirement training briefing. I think that's probably higher up than number 10, that's for sure. Probably one of the biggest mistakes in regards to that is thinking that those classes are strictly for people that are retiring. I'm going to retire in the next 3 months, so let me go ahead and attend one of these briefings. They are, as somebody who's taught these classes for years, I've done full day classes, multi-day classes, 4-hour sessions, lunch and learns, webinars, you name it. They are for people that are new employees. They are for employees that are mid-career and late career. And I'll tell you why, because when somebody has never gone to one of these and they go to one right before they retire, the most common thing I hear afterwards is, I wish somebody would have told me about this stuff sooner. So to say that it's a mistake, I absolutely 100% agree. But I absolutely think it's higher than number 10. Number 9, paying way too much for their option B life insurance. Absolutely. I think it's a huge mistake. It's one of the most common mistakes, because when you first come on, you purchase, you enroll in the life insurance. They all automatically enroll you in basic unless you waive it. But there's different parts to your life insurance. You have your basic, that's your salary. Then you have option A, B, C. So basic, option A, and option C are always going to be affordable, and you should probably try to keep those in some capacity through your career. Option B, though, option B, what we would call the killer B, is that it's the 5 multiples. When you hear folks say, hey, what kind of life insurance do you have? Well, I have the 5 multiples. That's what they're talking about. It's the 5 times the salary. So it's the most amount of insurance you're going to get in this program. It's also the most you're going to pay, because it's a 5-year group term plan. What that means is every 5 years, the premium for this goes up. Where you really start to see this is at age 50, and then where it really jumps out is at age 55. So if you have the 5 multiples and you turn 55, that premium you have there is going to double. At 60, it'll double again. 65, it'll double. Basically, it doubles. You really don't see it because it's on your leave and earning statement. You don't get that unless you go and seek it out. And it's broken up bi-weekly, and it's broken up again on your leave and earn. So it's spread so far out, you really don't notice how expensive it is until, age 55, age 60. So if you still need that much insurance and you're over age 50, I'd recommend that you probably look for something in the private sector instead of this. Well, let me wait until I'm 55 before it goes up. I've seen that happen, and somebody's health changes. All insurance is based on your age and your health. You're never going to be younger and healthier than you are now. So you're probably better off looking in the private sector, but do not change anything on your federal program until you're approved in the private sector. Believe me, that could be an even bigger mistake. Number 8, not putting enough into their TSP to receive the maximum matching. I think that's pretty straightforward. If you put in the 5%, they're going to match you 5% of your pay. That's just how it works. Well, what if I put in 3? How much will they match? It's not even worth answering, because anything less than 5%, you're going to leave free money on the table. So why even discuss it? Well, I can't afford to put in 5%, but you can't afford not to put in the 5%. All right. So absolutely crucial that you put in that 5%. When I talk to folks, they tell me, oh, I'm putting in the max in my TSP. Well, that could be the maximum you put in, the 27,000 a year if you're over age 50, or it could be the max to get the matching. You have to ask some further questions. This is what's talking about the matching here. So you can always put in more than 5%, and it's always encouraged to do so. But if you put in less, you're going to leave some free money on the table. Huge mistake. Number 7, not understanding all the TSP distribution options. I don't think you need to understand them all. There's a lot of different ways that you can take your TSP out. TSP, the beauty of TSP is the accumulation period and the dollar cost averaging as you put in per pay period and the matching. Buying shares when the fluctuating market. That's where TSP is at its best, is that accumulating this money. Where it's not at its best is in the distribution phase. It's just not built for it. It tries to do it. So in other words, it's basically you wear certain shoes going up the mountain while you're working. You put on different shoes as you go down the mountain. Okay. If you try to wear those same shoes, you're more likely going to slip. So what I would say is you don't have to know them all. But if you work with a fiduciary that is a certified federal benefit specialist like myself, I am a fiduciary and I'm both. So if you're working with that type of person, they're going to recommend what's in your best interest above their own. And they can probably set up everything correctly. Okay. So you don't have to know them all. You just have to know a trustworthy fiduciary. Number 6, neglecting to plan well enough for retirement. Well, that might be just a filler number 1 in there because it's pretty self-explanatory that most people, that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. All right. And, at what age is the best age to start, planning for your retirement? When it becomes important to you. I'll just be honest with you. When you start thinking about it, when it starts to become concerning, at that point, really trying to start getting things in order would be a very, very, good thing for sure. I've seen people go overboard, putting all this money ahead and eating top ramen, and they're basically starving themselves today for a retirement that they may not live to because they're killing themselves, trying to save. So you have to have a good balance on kind of where you're at and where you want to get to. But that comes from over time. Number 5, not buying back their military time. Okay, if you're retired military, this doesn't really apply. Some cases it will, but most of the time, no. What it's talking about here is when you have some straggler years, when you have active duty, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years of active duty time, that's, just there. And if you're a federal civilian employee now, you can purchase that time and add it to your civil service time as if you were working at the VA or IRS or wherever you were. And it will count towards those years. So you can make that deposit. What is the deposit? It's 3% of what you 3% of what you earned completely in the military. So the total earnings. That amount does not stay the same. Interest starts to accrue 2 years after you come on as a federal civilian employee. So when should you buy it back? As soon as you can. Number 4, making the wrong survivor benefit election. Now, this happens in retirement when folks are filling out their retirement paperwork. What's the wrong survivor benefit election? Folks going into retirement may want to take the full pension and not leave a survivor benefit for their spouse because of the cost. And so they'll say, okay, I'm not going to leave any survivor benefits because I don't plan on dying. And I want to take the most home per month of my pension. Okay, I can see why you want to do that. The problem is that if your spouse is on your health insurance with you, and you don't have any survivor benefits and you died, they would lose the health insurance. What? Yes. Okay, so you have to take some survivor benefits. Okay. Anything less than the maximum, you have to sign off via a notary. I've been a notary for years, not anymore, but when I've done all these retirement applications, I can't tell you how many times people told me, hey, we're not taking any survivor benefits. I've talked to my wife. She's okay with it. And I said, if you died, you'd lose the health insurance. And their common answer is, well, I don't plan on dying. Okay, me neither. But tomorrow's not promised to anybody. And I'm not going to notarize the form. Okay, because this is not the right election. Now, technically, as a notary, not supposed to do that. However, look, they're making a mistake. I'm not going to agree with that. So you have to take some survivor benefits in order for the spouse to keep the health insurance. So is it a common mistake in the top 10? Absolutely. Number 3, failure to having a proper and up-to-date estate plan. Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I think when you're younger and even in your 40s and 50s, you still feel I don't plan on dying, like we just said. And maybe I don't have all my beneficiary information updated, and maybe I don't have a trust set up and so forth. Okay. As you get older, that becomes more and more important. But I would say if you're watching this video, if I could stress anything, make sure all your beneficiary information on your pension for survivor, your contributions, last paycheck, TSP, and your life insurance, most importantly, is updated with the correct beneficiary information today. Okay, so maybe somebody was married previously, had the previous spouse on there as the beneficiary, got divorced, never changed it, remarried now, they die, who gets the life insurance? Yeah, the previous spouse. So I've seen that before. And I didn't stay in the office much longer after that. It was a really bad situation, but she was working with somebody else. But yeah, that's not good. So you want to make sure all your beneficiary information is updated. So that should be changed to that, quite frankly. Number 2, neglecting to properly cover or insure your spouse and children. This is talking about option C on the life insurance. You can cover your spouse $5,000 up to $25,000, and you can cover your children $2,500 up to $12,500 each, up to age 22. So the most common mistake I see is people have this option C, but they're divorced and the kids are grown. So all your kids have to be over age 22, and then you have to go and get rid of it. They won't automatically cancel it. Okay, so this is what they're talking about, this option C, and making sure that it's set up correctly. And number 1, failure to receive a personalized benefit report and retirement review. I think it is number 1. Absolutely. I think personalized benefit summary report, review, projections, I think these are all crucial to see, hey, make sure what you're doing is going to work. What's your probability of success in this system if you retire? How much should you be saving in your TSP? What funds should you be using? When should you take your Social Security? This is done with a fiduciary and certified federal benefit specialist. You may have a fiduciary or certified financial planner out there that says, oh, I know the federal system. They don't teach the federal system in those courses, okay? You have to know the federal system as well. So when you have that type of person working with you, help you put everything together, it's going to work. And you're able to test it to make sure that through a number of different circumstances, your probability of success, once you want it to be 100%, okay? So if you're looking at this early, mid, late career, this is crucial. Do I think this is number 1? Absolutely. Too many people want to DIY it, do it yourself, and, they end up making mistakes. Retirement can be a very long mistake. I mean, it's not like we work to 65, get a gold watch, and then at 67, you're dead. I mean, it doesn't work like that anymore. People's retirements can be 35 years, especially in the federal system, retiring, age 57. Man, it could live a long time in retirement, and it's a long time to have made a mistake. So even if you want to just make sure what you're doing is going to work, just simply do that, okay? But this DIY, do-it-yourself mentality of I'm just going to do it and make withdrawals from my TSP and sequence of returns, what's that? These are all factors that really can make or break whether or not you run out of money, all right? So do I think that's number 1? Yes, absolutely. And that's the top 10 mistakes made by federal employees. I'd probably take a couple out of there, add a couple other ones in there, but today is just reviewing this brochure. If you need help, contact us at csccapitalmanagement.com. That's our website. You can click some of the links below the video. And if you want a personalized benefit summary report or just answer some questions, help with military time bought back, you name it, we are here to help you. Okay. So this is Justin Heatherly saying thanks so much for joining us. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to get more videos like this one. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.